Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome. I'm freezing. I swear to you God. It gets 50 degrees and I'm freezing. Oh my gosh. Welcome back to Reality Water Cooler. I am Sarah from Texas, and this is our place to chat all the latest reality TV, Jeff Lewis Live, Jeff Lewis Extended. Oh my gosh. Did y'all hear what Jameson said? I don't know who to give credit to, but I want to give credit to somebody. Howdy. I love that, KJ. Hater hoes ain't happy. Happy hoes ain't hating. Oh my gosh. So at the very end of Jeff Lewis Extended, it seemed to come out of the blue. I don't really know what they were talking about, other than I guess just fans in general and being famous. Doug and mostly Zach Noe Towers were talking about mostly Zach talking about getting like hate, I guess. And Jameson said that hater hoes ain't happy. Happy hoes ain't hating. And Doug said that his company that he works for, he does have a Monday through Friday job, marketing job, like mostly alcohol stuff. And they always said, don't talk negatively about your competitors, just speak positively about yourself. Anyways, I thought that was so cute. Loved it, especially on the heels of, what we talk about, which is gossip and, all that sort of stuff. Okay, some sad news. Thank you, Robin, who messaged me the information. Thank you, Melissa, who messaged me the information this morning. Y'all do your best. And I thank you so much for keeping me, on my toes about everything, because I don't always hear everything. And y'all let me know about the lawsuit. I had just seen somebody post about it, but it didn't seem a legit source at the time. So I was kind of waiting to see if it was true about Rachel Levis suing, not Bravo, but Tom Sandoval directly and Ariana for basically the two, I think, different FaceTimes where she was nude and masturbating. I'd forgotten about those videos. I mean, I'm not saying I don't know if somebody should sue or not. Who knows? Not my business. I'd have forgotten about them though. She reminded me of the visual in my brain of her like masturbating on FaceTime with Tom, and now knowing that he recorded it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't do that stuff with my husband. I was I wasn't of the era of dating when you could FaceTime and do the sexting and all this stuff. Tell me. Maybe you don't want to be public about it. Okay, never mind. Okay, do you think it's common if somebody is sexting or having kind of relations via FaceTime to record it? Or do you just do it as a FaceTime and not? I don't even know how to record a FaceTime. I assume it's doable. I have no idea. But I do believe that Ariana, in her disgust, can you imagine not only finding out? So remember, tomorrow, if y'all are OG chumpettes, y'all were with me on a Friday as we went live. And I'm like, oh my God, we're hearing that Tom and Ariana, he was caught cheating. And then right before I went live, she had deactivated her Instagram account. I mean, that was all the proof I needed, right? I was like, bam, something's definitely going on. She deactivated her Instagram. It's true. So today is leap year. Happy leap day, February 29th. But tomorrow, March 1st, is a year that the news broke. Okay. So now we know it actually broke or happened 2 days before the Wednesday night when actually, was it Lala? Now I'm forgetting shit. Was it Lala and Sheena? No, shit. Sheena and Rachel Levis, who were live on Watch What Happens Live. It happened there. It happened in LA while they were in New York. Anyways, I would have forgotten about that. And now I'm reminded. So basically, she's suing directly Tom and Ariana for like emotional, disgrace or whatever you want to call it, emotional, whatever, and all related to those videos. Yes. That makes sense, but I think she trusted him that they were having a private FaceTime. The reason I think they probably record things is because they weren't able, unless they were at her apartment all the time, I guess. They weren't able to be together all the time because they were sneaking around for so long having this affair, right? So it makes sense to me that he would record this FaceTime and I don't know. Do you masturbate at the same time? I don't even know what they do with this stuff. I don't know. I learned more about this FaceTime sexting stuff from 90 Day Fiancé people that talk about like Angela and Michael, to be honest with you. She has said they've had to kind of keep things spicy because when they were living in 2 different countries. I mean, okay, Diane says, "Never do it if you don't want anything shared. Never send nudes either," right? Seems like that's a mistake like a 17-year-old would make, not a 40-something-year-old, but, you know. Ooh, Deja Monet. Deja, is that how you pronounce it? Recording and taking a screenshot of a FaceTime is cringe and a violation. Absolutely. Well, without permission, right? And that's what her thing is she's saying it was without permission for sure. Tiffany Chump says Tom is wrong for recording it. Why is she suing Ariana? But why is because okay, good question. She is suing Ariana because she is adamant, although I don't know if she has proof. First of all, we know she sent these 2 videos apparently to Rachel and said, basically, "F you, you're dead to me." Okay. So she Ariana let Rachel know that she saw these videos on her phone. Don't forget, Tom was performing. Ariana was front row. We've got videos, we've got pictures of that. She was there supporting him. We now know, and we kind of had a clue that there were some issues in their relationship. But let's face it, she was there front and center supporting Tom at his concert. So there's that. Someone gives her his phone to hold, or it dropped out of his pocket, something the night of the concert. And she was like, "Look, I've got his phone. I've had some questions. I've seen some stuff, my gut, whatever, women's intuition." She immediately goes to his video roll, and that's where she saw the proof. Um, So she is saying that Ariana had to have sent it to, Sheena because there was the altercation with Sheena when Sheena got upset. So she's basically assuming, and I think in this lawsuit also, she lists other like Jane Doe's, John Doe's, like unnamed sources, but she is not suing Bravo, but she is basically saying, "Look, I know you showed it to basically the Vanderpump Rules kids, right? You showed it to everybody." I don't know. And I don't know, in the anger, the shock, the whatever, I don't even know what Ariana knows because I don't even know all the legal whatever, although as a mom, I've learned things about other parents and TV and the Today Show, all these people talking about the illegal part of, like, forwarding on videos. Say Jimmy gets a nude picture of Janice's boobies, and Jimmy sends that text to Jeff, I'm using all J's. uh, if Jeff sends that information on, Johnny's in trouble, Jeff's in trouble. All these people are in trouble for basically forwarding and passing along the illegal, I guess, or done without permission picture. I know I'm saying that all wrong. Yes, where are my keys? Says I would be pissed. Absolutely. She was pissed. She was embarrassed. She was humiliated. Um, all the things. Melanie says, Ariana is an awful bitter Betty. I usually only hear that term with you know who. She rolled on very quickly, which is fine, but stop trying to force this nasty narrative. Okay. We all have strong opinions about it. Tracy says the lawsuit states or insinuates that Ariana already knew about the affair. It's 19 pages of pretty juicy stuff. I have always said Ariana knew. She knew something was going on, right? I think we'll see more in next week's episode of Vanderpump Rules, the conversation with James and Tom Schwartz. James is saying, "You should have left. You should have left. Walk out the door. Be a man. Don't cheat with Rachel." Okay. I'm not saying, I'm just saying I have no idea the numbers. I would venture to say a lot. I don't even know a number. A lot of people meet someone else either intentionally or accidentally, as Tom says, we never intended to cheat. We didn't purposely do this. We didn't do this with a whatever, but, end up cheating without leaving. Tom says he tried to leave and that Ariana was in such a bad place mentally that he felt, I think he even says she threatened to harm herself and he just didn't even know what to do. Also, they were all intermingled. Their business, their finances, their identity, their fame, their money, their jobs was everything intermingled with this Vanderpump Rules in all their, the businesses and making money. So I don't know. To say to just up and leave, I don't know. Tiffany Chump says Ariana wasn't happy with Tom or herself. He ended up doing her a big favor. She should thank her. She should thank Rachel. Yeah. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think it's interesting that she's not suing other people? She's not naming other people's names. At some point, can't you get somebody's phone and get the records and see, did Ariana send this video to Lala? Did she send the video to Sheena? Did she send the video to, you know, Katie, whoever? Can't they get proof before the lawsuit, or do you just sue and then whatever? I don't know. It's crazy. Some other sad news, I guess, sad news, happy news. I don't know. Gabe, the first transgender on 90 Day Fiance, super sweet person, makes this YouTube video on his channel. It's just 4 minutes long. So take it, check it out. I'll post a link. I don't think I have done that. I reposted it to my YouTube. I need to link it other places if you want. Anyways, he looks so beat down. He's just like, I've been working 18 hours a day. And at first I'm like, okay, you're making a video about this. Basically, he's saying he and his wife, Isabel, are going to get a divorce. He makes some strong allegations about mishandling of funds, maybe some lies. He was trying to cover her and say, I don't know where she's at. I don't know why we're not to get things like that. He says he's got a day job. And then at night he comes home and then he has to Uber to make more money. He says he has nothing to show for it. He's left with nothing. So Isabel, beautiful, from Colombia, has 2 kids, and they had obviously met Gabe. And I don't know, he just looks so beat down. He says he's embarrassed. He feels betrayed. All the things. All the things. Oh, Yvonne talking about Ariana. Exactly, Melanie. Ariana's made a boatload of money from playing the victim. Come on already. Let's go back to Vanderpump Rules real quick. Do y'all feel like when is it going to happen? I feel like Lala has already teased it. Even Ariana has said, yep, I think everyone's going to think I'm a bitch by the end of season 11. I'm just waiting for that like bam moment because I do feel like something's going to happen for sure. For sure. I'm just waiting to see what it is. If like where the tide changes, does her financial things start changing? Does she stop getting all the reality TV shows, all the love, all the adoration? I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Don't forget Cooking Kivets tonight, 5:00 Pacific. Doug Budin's Instagram. He's got the Smith sisters and John Hill. Pretty big get, and they're doing shakshuka. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Shakshuka? First time I heard that word, that meal. I'm not a cook at all. I just like eating was Aaron Leachy from the new Real Housewives of whatever. Okay, is that true? Mary, I don't, I'm a facts girl. I like to wait till it's from a legit source like TMZ. Mary says, I'm very sad about Jax and Britney. I really thought they were it. Are they separated? Have either one of them admitted it yet? I'm not saying they can't be separated and just faking it or not admitting it. I just don't know if they have admitted it. All I've seen so far is, the allegations that he's in this other state, and she has said, "Oh, every marriage has its problems." So, which is true, but I think that's basically saying me and Jax have our problems, right? Yes, Melanie. I thought Jax was serious about straightening his ass up for Britney. I don't know if you can. I don't know. It is confirmed. Oh, Britney announced it on their podcast. Wait, when, Tracy? Why did nobody send me that? All I heard was her saying every marriage has its problems. Okay. Well, dang. Wait, Britney is living somewhere else for her mental health, Chris? Dang. When was that announced? It's cheaper to keep her. I mean, well, and Jax is not good with money. I mean, you can't fix broken. Oh, today. Okay. I had not heard that for sure. Let me assure you, Krista says, Cruz, their son, who's what, about 3-ish now? How old is Cruz? Jax and Brittany's son. Oh, okay. I should have read this first. Has some serious developmental delays. I would bet they are very divided on how Jax and Brittany are dealing with that. Okay. Well, obviously, parenting can be stressful for sure, no matter what you're going to whack when you. um. Okay, Tracy. I don't really think Ariana had to play victim. She was a victim, which I think we all agree. I mean, cheating is definitely a victim, but she's just thriving. Doors open for her from this. And as far as drawing a line with her friends group, do you blame her? I really don't. No. I mean, I know Jeff Lewis and all them say, and if you look at who people follow, a lot of his current really close friends still follow Scott, still follow Gage. I mean, I can't check that. Scott, I'm not blocked from. Anyways, I don't think I've told y'all that, but I'll just say I'm not blocked by Scott right now for quite a while. Anyways, Gage I can't look at though, but so I can't see who's following or who he's following, what have you. But a lot of his close chumps still follow Scott and Gage. And I think Jeff, as much as he says sometimes, like, I don't really care if my friends are still friends with others or exes or ex-friends. He said a lot a few months ago, I don't fuck with people who fuck with people that I don't fuck with anymore. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, we all resort back to like the 7th grade mentality where if you're friends with someone that hates me, then what does that say about how you feel about me? Right? So it kind of does boil down to that. And then there's always the saying of, well, they haven't effed me over yet, or I haven't seen that, or I don't believe that. So I don't know. Thank you, Tanya says, I love Sarah. Thank you, Tanya. Oh, anyways, yeah, who knows? Who knows? Oh, Tiffany says, oh, Jeff cares. Yeah. It's interesting. What do you think? I mean, if you were in those situations with Ariana, remember whenever, basically they're all saying like, I'm like, especially Allie, who's the newest to the group, really, James's new girlfriend. Even whenever James was going to Tom Sandoval's birthday gathering, I mean, Allie was like, I'll wait in the car. Like, I'm not going to disrespect Ariana, who's my friend. And I don't really have a friendship with Tom. So I'm not going to go in there and ruin that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I kind of feel both ways for sure. It's an interesting thing. And I think it's probably a case by case, like probably how bad the deceit was or how bad the whatever was as far as what people feel about that. I don't know. I don't know if, Rachel needs the money. Remember when all this came out and they were like, she's a millionaire. She's worth 10 million. I don't care what Google said about Rachel Levis. I was like, why would she be living in a 1-bedroom or a studio apartment if she's got $10 million? Like, no, I never believed that. So, did we discuss why Andy is not live? It has nothing to do with anything. He was recording a Potomac reunion yesterday. And then I think he also did the Kelly Clarkson show. So it has nothing to do with it. He had announced already that he was going to be off and they were airing this Vanderpump Rules. And then tomorrow's Friday, so he's not on either. So, yeah. Yeah, Krista, I don't believe it either. Krista says Rachel Levis is not a multimillionaire. Even if she comes from money, her parents are still alive. So she doesn't even have that money yet. Okay, let's get into, did you watch Beverly Hills Reunion episode 1? Did you watch Miami Reunion episode 1? I have not. watched Miami since okay, I'm gonna call it first chunk, right? When Miami was on, a lot of the same girls too. When Miami was on, Bravo years ago, then they had like 8 or 10 years off, and then they came back to Peacock, and now they're on Bravo, right? I keep up with it. I mean, I know who they all are. It's a lot of the same girls, almost all the same girls are original. Um, man, those girls hate each other. I mean, I, I let's talk Miami first. I was going to talk Beverly Hills. Let's talk Miami first. Larsa, maybe you guys are dry, but I'm having sex 5 times a night. And when I was married to my first husband, Scottie Pippen, we were having sex 4 times a night. I do not believe this at all. I looked it up. I knew they had 4 kids. She has 4 kids with Scottie Pippen. Their kids are now 23 to 15. Okay, without getting gross. Okay, the first okay, how do you do this without getting gross? S okay. Um, I mean, okay, it takes time between each release, and after each release, it takes more time before the next release. When are you sleeping? When are you raising your kids? When are you like 4 to 5 times a night every night? Are you fucking kidding me? Do you think we're stupid? I mean, even Andy Cohen was like, it's so dumb and it's so gross. And so I think, not Adriana, the blonde, freaking the blonde. Does that even narrow it down? Let me think. Yes, the blonde does narrow it down. What's her freaking name? Has the kid, 2 boys. Anyways, the husband, she said, "What do your kids think about when you say this?" And finally, Larsa was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything more because they don't like me talking about this." Of course they don't. Ew, Alexia. Thank you, Lori. Alexis. Alexis, not Alexia. Alexis? What the hell's her name? Alexia. Somebody said Alexis. It's Alexia. Larsa is a liar, Yvonne says. Wait, where'd it go? But the dry comment had me dying. I know, right? Do you have to be dry to not I mean, that's such a dig. It was such an old lady dig. Like you're old, so you're dried up down there because that's the kind of the mentalities that we get dry. No, you don't have to be dry to not have sex 4 to 5 times a night and even talk about it like, ew, ew. Melanie said, Alexis, it's Alexia, isn't it? God, why is my brain? I have an aunt Alexis. That's why I'm thrown on this. Alexis and Marisol are the ones I'm over on Miami. It's Alexia. Yeah, Alexia. I don't know that I'm ever over Marisol. I mean, with her cocky drink, I don't know. I don't think I'm ever over it. Thought it was gross though. Also gross. Why is Marcus in the green room and mic'd up and commenting about what they're saying? And then like they're showing his face as he responds to things that Andy Cohen is saying. So a story came out recently, I think, where all the ladies were, I think they were saying they felt like intimidated, by Marcus being there on the day. And maybe he said something that was horrible or did something. Do we know what's going on with that yet? Um, Wait, what is Mary I get so I love y'all's comments. Mary says, if you watch the Cocaine Cowboys, what is that? You see Alexia from when she was young with her first husband. Very interesting. Okay, is her first husband the one that has now we know came out as gay and um he's no longer with us? Is that her first husband? Um yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was gross. I mean, on top of this was filmed, the reunion was filmed. Now we know the day before Valentine's, or no, Super Bowl Sunday, they're posting both of them, Marcus and Larsa, as if they're broken up. Larsa's posting all this weird stuff, basically The one I remember was basically like, when your kids don't like who you're dating, pay attention, something like that. That's the one I kinda noticed. And we know Michael Jordan, Marcus's dad, famously doesn't approve of the relationship, either for the age difference or the fact that, you know, Scottie Pippen was a friend and former playmate of his, a basketball player with him. Ugh. A lot of accusations. I just don't feel like any of them feel like they're real friends. Lisa Hochstein, who I love, she was real quiet so far. I'm assuming I don't know how many reunions they get. I know Beverly Hills is gonna be 3. I don't know how many they get. Wait, who's Jerry? K Boo says, Darla, Jerry would be a good replace. Oh, Jerry. Oh my God, I love him. Would be a good replace. He's all clean too and no skeletons. We hope not, right? Wait, what's on Denisa? What's on Rick and Kelly's latest podcast? Tell me. I missed it. Let's see. What did Denisa say? Oh, Andy's exit package. Oh my God. I can't talk about that yet. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Let's if nothing huge happens between today and tomorrow, like Kim Zolciak Bierman announcing her big news, her big announcement, and she never did. Ugh, ugh. Anyways, we'll debate tomorrow whether or not Andy Cohen is going to be fired or leave or what have you. Oh, I love Jerry. What is Jerry's last name? I cannot think of it for sure. Jerry O'Connell. Jerry O'Connell. Oh, you think he sucked on Wendy Williams whenever he took over? Oh, ALW. I like him. I just love his intense love for Bravo. I don't know. We'll keep seeing what happens on the rest of the rest of Miami. Yes, I know. Oh, Annette says I love Jerry. I do too. I love Jerry O'Connell. I know. So, okay, I did see. Like I said the other day, I was at the oral surgeon, and I watched part of Rick and Kelly, who I hadn't seen lately, just because I've been busy in the morning. I used to try to watch the Smash first thing in the morning, and now I do something else. I'm actually stretching. I know it sounds like dramatic, but like I'm doing something else. Why don't I just turn it on my TV? Maybe I'll do that. I just try to do it with either the Today Show. Anyways, I've been trying to stretch my old ass legs. My calves are tightening up, and if my calves tighten up, it leads, in my opinion, gaining weight, even 10 to 12, 15 pounds. If I gain weight and if I don't stay on stretching my calves, the plantar fasciitis comes back. And if you've ever had that or know someone with it, it's freaking horrendous and becomes a full-time job to stretch your calves out all damn day. Anyways, okay. The Rick and Kelly show talked about their move. I don't know why they're moving though. It seems like they just moved not that long ago. I know they're renting, and I know they'd planned to move once her daughter went away to college, but it's only February. She hasn't gone away to college yet. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. I know. I don't do Pilates though. That sounds expensive, Annette. Pilates is the best for stretching. I would choose. Oh, there's mold in their house? Oh, thank you. Oh. Krista, do yoga videos on YouTube. I can stop plantar fasciitis. The thing about, I've had it twice. The first time I had plantar fasciitis, I have bunions on both feet. Okay, so I do have foot issues. I have bunions that need surgery since my 20s by a podiatrist, and I've had God, what did they call this? Plantar fasciitis, which they verified by an MRI. There's really no way to get it to go away. I've done every treatment under the sun, and then it went away after a year and a half, thank goodness, and then it came back about 2021, I think, and I gained a ton of weight. I was stretching all the time. I couldn't work out. It was awful. It is awful. My best friend has plantar fasciitis. She said the pain is awful, Krista says. The thing about it too is I have such a high pain tolerance, and I'm just not a bitch and moan kind of girl. And when my husband knew, he's like, "Man, this must be bad because I've seen you give birth 5 times without pain medicine, and this must be bad." And I'm like, "It is." And it tightens up so quick. Okay, Beverly Hills Reunion, part 1. Um, you see in the beginning, so they filmed this in Culver City, which is like a suburb outside of LA. Um, but Andy jokes to Kyle that Mauricio is gonna make an appearance, and she freaks out. She did not think that joke was funny at all. So clearly at the reunion, they're not in a good place to even, like, see each other, or maybe she needs to be, like, mentally prepared to see Mauricio, which kinda made me sad, right? Um, Dorit, thinking Doritos. Uh, Last minute, like, they're fixing her dress, her freaking reunion dress. Like, that's not like an off the, rack kind of outfit. You know as much as Dorit is into fashion. Um, she had planned this dress for a long time. She's always remained the same size, it looks like. I mean, I don't think she ever deviates within 3 pounds of her size. Um But they're trying to make her dress fit, and they're literally snatching it. They're putting clips on it like you do, like when you're trying on a bride's dress, a wedding gown, where they gotta make it show you what it'll look like in your right size. Then she comes out in this little red Robin Hood thing on her head. If she paid more than $50 to have her hair fixed, then she should get a refund because she probably could have done a bun of her own self. 'Cause her hair is never showing during the whole thing. She's got this freaking Little Red Riding Hood thing on herself the whole time. Very interesting look. Someone DM'd me this morning and was like, "What was the theme?" You know how sometimes it seems like there's a theme with the outfits? All I said was, like, bright colors, because it's like they had very bright colors on. That's all I could really see. Nick James says, "Dorit needs to go. You're over her." You ain't wrong. Yes. May boo. Dorit really rates herself, making everyone wait for her. So rude. Was she the one that she was having lunch with someone and she made them wait a long time? I can't remember. Wait, what? Darla, Kelly told me to F one day when I told her about herself. If I'd been standing in front of me, she would never do that. I'm not above throwing these hands. Oh God, Darla, you go. Um, Anyways, okay. Did you like her outfit? It's a lot of red, a lot of red. Kyle and Dorit, do you think why is Dorit trying to make it seem I was fooled. I thought they were couples friends. I thought they were family friends. There's this recent video now that we see of a wedding, a bat mitzvah, some dressy event where they're dancing and Mauricio was dancing with like Dorit's little kids. Um But now it seems like Kyle is totally trying to act like, "Look, how many times did we ever have lunch off camera?" That is huge to me. On camera versus off camera, if you do nothing, they only film for like 5 months out of the year. So that means 7 months out of the year, they weren't seeing each other, going to lunch, nothing. It's one thing if you're like, knees deep in raising your kids and, what have you. But, a lot of them or all of them have nannies. They've got help. They've got whatever. It's not like they're not able to get away for lunch. It's not like they don't have the money to go and have a $50 lunch, right? So all the excuses that some moms can have for not seeing their friends as often as they want, I don't buy for like Kyle and Dorit. So I feel like why is Dorit trying to act like she's so hurt? Morgan took her away. Um, she took away her friendship of her and Kyle. There's enough room for everyone. What's that saying? If you want to make time, you will make time. In other words, you know, if something's important to you, you will make it happen. You will see them. You will call them. For Kyle, she's basically saying, "Look, I work out. Dorit doesn't wanna work out, she doesn't work out. Okay, I have friends with nothing in common that we do, but we can still go to lunch, we can still talk on the phone, we can still go for a walk, we can still do things that the other one may not be as into as the other one, right? I don't know. Did you think the text was manipulative or not? intentionally manipulative. So if Kyle is saying, "Look, we weren't that good of friends, like, off camera," then why, if you hadn't talked in months, why send that big, long text? The big, long text the day before, basically saying, "Look, after the reunion, I wanna talk, I wanna hash this out." She feels like Erica Jane was agreeing in the green room. She was agreeing that, "Yeah, I wouldn't like that text, it's manipulative." I don't know. Oh god, Krista. I would believe that Mauricio and PK were banging more than Dorit. I don't know. Oh gosh. Darla says, "For being Real Housewives, there sure is a lot of fake." Oh my god, say that again. Real Housewives of blank city, there is a lot of fake. There needs to be a show, Fake Housewives of whatever city, right? For sure. Um, okay, and then we get into the whole esophagus of it all, okay? And the allegation that Crystals basically keeps saying that Anna Marie, okay, now we know. It's Anna Marie, but it's spelled Anne Marie. It's from some country. ANNE Marie, but it's pronounced Anna Marie. So then I wanted to go back and be like, did they call her Anna Marie? But it said so Anna Marie is right, which so I think they all had that right for sure. But Kyle is the one who Kyle, in my opinion, and she was really good friends with Sutton apparently, was the one I remember given the narrative of Sutton having an eating disorder. She very much talked about, "Oh, who's the one that pushes their food around the plate so it looks like they're eating and they're really not?" That to me is way more accusatory of Sutton having an eating disorder than whatever this whole, "I've got a small esophagus." I mean, it did seem like, chew your food more? Like, does that make you not eat? Is it painful? Do you take medicine? I don't even know. Hey, Cecile, better late than never. I'm here very late today. Um, Denisa, Kyle and Morgan do hang out for real. I've seen them walking the streets in Nashville. Okay, but oh yeah, Kyle and Morgan. Yeah. Yep. Well, they're clearly everywhere together, right? Like, they don't care if it's private or public. They're letting people know they're hanging out together for sure, which I do feel like, I think on Watch What Happened Live again last night. It was a pre-record. Wait, where did I hear this? Shh. Where did Andy Cohen hear that? Where did Andy Cohen imply this again? Maybe on the show last night? He definitely says again, I think next episode, I think you're gonna get more information about Kyle and Morgan. So I think something else is gonna come out for sure. Um, but I don't know. I don't Crystal was on Jeff Lewis Live, which we will talk about in a little bit for the first time today, with Cynthia Bailey. Uh, was she just finally using her voice? She says she's very opinionated. And she just finally, instead of watching herself back of season 1 and 2, and thinking things, strong opinions, as she said. Instead, she realized this with a little bit of pushing by the producers. Hey, say what you're thinking at the time. Like, that's what you're here for. You're not here to just collect a paycheck that you apparently don't need because you're rich from coconut water and Lion King. I mean, the fact that Crystal admittedly, I will say because she very much talks about it's a daily, hourly struggle. An eating disorder since age 11. Um, the comments about her at the episode 1 this year, I talked about, was so jarring to hear her just say aloud, "God, everyone's so skinny here. What do I have to do to get so skinny?" And just, we might think things, but for her to vocalize that in front of everyone about how skinny they are, kind of, I think, put them on edge, kind of, it was a lot. It was a lot. Oh, sure, it can take lives. I mean, yeah, Krista. Crystal has an eating disorder that's the type that takes lives. I mean, I think anything could be unhealthy for you, right? Um, True, K-Boo. Moving food around the plate doesn't mean you have an eating disorder. I've done it many times when I didn't like the food and didn't want to be rude or when I didn't want to ruin my buzz. That sounds so chumpy. Ruin my buzz. No, I agree. The way and then the context that Kyle was saying it was absolutely implying an eating disorder for Sutton. She was very much in that whole conversation talking about that. Anna Marie versus Crystal. I mean, they're just not going to get along. If they end up being super buddies soon, I will just die because I will be shocked for sure. I don't know what to believe. It is interesting. I mean, if you've got someone in your family that's an anesthesiologist, that's not like every other person is an anesthesiologist, for one thing. So Crystal says her half stepsister, half sister, whoever it was, some family member is an anesthesiologist. So she was on alert whenever Anna Marie said, "Oh, I'm that too." She's like, "Oh, so is my sister. She's got to practice it, whatever." Um, so she definitely paid attention. So she has said from day one that Crystal was lying, that Anna Marie was lying, and that she can't say anything that's trustworthy. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's get into Jeff Lewis Live. Wait, what? I have the polar opposite of anorexia. I think I'm skinnier than I am, Darla says. Girl, I'm not even kidding you. I think it's called body dysmorphia. It's true. I have that too. I have said for years, I will go to try on a bathing suit or panties or jeans, and I think, oh, these are going to be baggy. And then they're tight. I'm like, what the hell? I literally do. I think I'm smaller than I am. And then I see myself in a picture or video, and I'm like, oh. So it has nothing to do. It's mental disorder, body dysmorphia, coping, blah, 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 whatever you want to call it. There's definitely people that see themselves differently than is reality. And sadly, it's often the opposite, where with people with EDs feel they are bigger than they are. And it's not accurate, right? I don't know. Do you think, okay, Tiffany Chump says Sutton is very thin since the last couple of seasons, and I would think you couldn't get Ozempic with a small esophagus. I don't think she's any smaller. Okay, I need to go back and look. She's very thin. I thought she always has been. Her legs are very small. I mean, like, very thin. K Boo says, I think you look different in the bathroom mirror than in photos or videos. But I mean, even if I'm like trying on clothes, you know what I mean? Like I will think, oh, this bra, y'all, if you saw my video, what is it about? Some November? I don't know when it was. Sometime I went and bought a couple of new bras. And when they don't even measure you. They just look at you. And she was like, "Oh, you're a 36E." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm not an E. I've never been an E." Even when I was 50 pounds heavier, I've been 50 pounds more than I am now, either pregnant or not pregnant. I mean, I was at my highest weight a couple of years ago when I had the plantar fasciitis. My mom was sick, all the things, what have you. Even going to body pump 6 days a week wasn't really changing things. But I was never an E, even being 50 pounds heavier than I am now. And I'm a 36E. Damn straight, all the bras I bought, they're all 36E, or one's a 36 double D, which is pretty much an E. And yep, they fit. So I am an E. And so I just think these boobs don't look that big. And then sometimes I'm like, oh my God, these boobs do look big. I don't know. When they did a flashback, her face was so round and full, Tiffany Chump says. So you think Sutton, you know what? And I've said this though, a lot of them, I think anybody that goes on TV or starts getting, they talk a lot. Oh shit, y'all. It's 44 minutes. We didn't really get to talk about Jeff Lewis at all. Shit fire. All the dang gossip. We'll go a little bit longer today because we didn't get into Cynthia Bailey and Crystal Minkoff. Anyways, I think a lot of the housewives end up losing weight or trying to lose weight or going up and down with their weight because they're getting talked about their weight all the dang time. Anyways, okay, real quick. Jeff loves Crystal because even though he at BravoCon said she was boring, she kind of need to find her voice. She came back quickly and called him a cocksucker, which got her a lot of flack because you know if he wasn't the kind of man, gay man that would care about that, she could have not been canceled, but she definitely got some flack for calling a gay man a cocksucker. Because I mean, but I think she just meant it like the term like asshole, not necessarily cocksucker, like a derogatory gay insult. He didn't take it that way at all. He says, I actually respect her now. And, I was fine. I like that she came back on it. K Boo said it is a gay hate comment. Okay. But Jeff didn't take it that way, right? Yeah. Anyways, I had never heard of the term white labeling. So just like all the chumps were saying, apparently 12 years ago, which I'm kind of bummed, like Jeff said, why aren't they? When I first heard that she had a coconut water company, I was like, who has a coconut water company? I'm like, that trend kind of came and went, coconut oil, coconut water. My mom, towards the last 2 or 3 years, my mom, every new product my mom always owned. My mom had everything that just come on the market. You know what I mean? Even when I was a kid, she would buy me things that like Guess. When she bought me my first Guess watch, I was like, "Oh, a Guess watch." I don't even know how she heard about a Guess watch. Anyways, I had Guess jeans, but she bought me a Guess watch one time. My mom was drinking coconut water before I knew it was a thing. My mom owned a Wii, the exercise thing. She bought it for like doing yoga and stuff with herself before I even knew the Wii gaming system was a thing. So I only knew that it was like a trend, like coconut water. It's $100 million business between her and her brother and her best friend. But Beverly Hills hasn't shown that at all. She has said she's very involved, like day to day. But I sort of love that she has her own money. Can you imagine how much money they have? If that house So Jeff also tells us he almost bought a house on her street, but they didn't accept the offer. But she says that is Lion King money. That is like his money. Oh, I love that, Melanie. Um, K-Boo. I'm bored with people with too much money that start coconut water companies. That's funny. Anyways, they did talk, and Crystal says the name of the private school that her daughter did she say the name, or she said it was the same one that was crazy. I was kind of wondering why she said that information. Speaking of Kanye, Kanye has come out and said the name of the private school that he and Kim's 4 kids go to, and that he doesn't want them going to school at all, going to private school. He doesn't want them being in the system. So of course he took that Instagram down, and then Kim is saying we don't need to discuss these things. Interesting. Jeff Lewis Extended ended up being Zach Noe Towers as scheduled, but Doug Budin, thank goodness, lives 6 blocks away and had to get in there because Carnie is sick. So everyone wish Carnie some good feelings. Wait, Krista, I don't believe at all that it's $100 million business for Crystal. Not at all. Okay, who's good at Googling? Matter of fact, I just saw someone's name that has told me they're really good. I'm not going to say who it is. That's told me they're really good at investigating stuff. So somebody find proof, actual facts, if there is, on what their company is worth. This coconut company. Sounds like it's a company that like bottles, like you can have green beans that are Great Value brand. Okay. The can of green, I don't know, green beans go by for right now, 88 cents. I'm going to just say. You can have a Great Value brand that's Walmart's brand. Then that same people that do those green beans can be a Del Monte brand or whatever brand of green beans is, and they can be $1.09. So I think that's what this white labeling means is they own the coconut water, and then they box it up and sell it for whoever needs to, right? Wait. Oh, Bravo announced it. So Sherry says, just received an alert from Bravo that Jax and Britney may be taking a break from the relationship. Somebody said she announced it on their podcast. Somebody remind me the name of their podcast. Shit. So many people, so many podcasts. Jax and Britney. Um, Jeff talks about, so what a weird coincidence. This kind of surprised me. So somebody look up. Okay, let's look up how old Zach Noe Towers is. I think he's like 36. He looks so young and hot and fresh and skinny, but I think he's older age. Zach Noe Towers age. He's 38 years old. He'll be 39 in October. Okay, so keep that in mind, okay? Well, I guess it doesn't. Okay, so Jeff on Sunday met a guy at High Tops, admittedly making out with him, doesn't seem to change phone numbers with him, right? What's the name of the podcast? Reality Bites? Is that what it's called? I don't know. When Reality Hits? Is that what it's called? Anyways, doesn't he seems to know the guy's name. All he says it's an unusual first name. So they look it up, think they find it. Then he sees a picture of them. I think he said this yesterday, and he's like, ew, like that guy's not cute. Wasn't him. It was someone else. Anyway, so he had this drinks date with the guy last night. He ends up knowing Zach Noe Towers. Not only know, excuse me, he was his roommate. The guys know they've known each other since their 20s. Or since Zach was like 21, and now we know he's 38 years. That's a long time. So just a couple of years ago, and I almost remember Zach Noe Towers talking about this, saying that he has a 2-bedroom apartment, but he doesn't have a roommate anymore. And I've seen this a lot on House Hunters, where people will be like making a fresh start, and they're like, you need to house share, or I see this a lot in Australia. They'll be like, you need to house share or something they call it. And it's basically like having a house, but roommates that just rent the room and you don't know who they are. So I always think of roommates. Gosh, I think I only had one roommate, and it was my best friend's boyfriend at the time in college, but we knew each other before. I've never had a roommate situation where you didn't know the person before. So I'm assuming, I think they knew each other before and they became roommates. Not sure. Anyways, I couldn't tell if it went well though. Do you think the date went well? It seemed like Jeff was very adamant, like he was kind of uptight, kind of whatever. And, he was way more loosey-goosey. He needed to take a couple of shots. Yes, that's my point. Chris Cooper. I'm wondering if the ex-roommate is Zach Noe Towers' age. I mean, late 30s is around on par for about what Jeff will be 54 soon, but he definitely likes a late 30s, 40s age range, right? For sure. There's no public. Oh, y'all are looking at Real Cocoa. Real Cocoa is the name of Crystal's company. But he basically, even Zach Noe Towers admitted, yeah, he's probably more quiet when he's not drinking, right? But I didn't feel like they really announced how that went though. I don't know, Diane. I mean, I'm sure it's the same for anyone. I'm going to read your question, but I know this is going to be a controversial or whatever. Diane, can I ask a question? I don't mean to be rude. How do gay men make sure they stay safe if they're with so many partners? There's ways. There's ways. There's also preventative ways that actually Zach Noe Towers talks about a lot, called PrEP. Anyways. But yeah, I think the same for anyone that gets around, right? So Zach is going to open for Fortune tomorrow night in Houston. It's actually Sugarland, which is a suburb of Houston. It's at a huge space. It's called Smart Financial Center, huge space. Fortune opens, and I think Zach Noe Towers is opening for her. I've seen them both perform. Zach Noe Towers came to Houston in the fall, and a couple of us, I think 6 of us, went to see him at the Houston Irvine. Then last January 2023, I flew from Houston to LA, and we stayed in wherever, Orange County, what's it called? Where Kelly and Rick live. We stayed there and saw Fortune at the Irvine, the Improv there. They're both really good. So if y'all can go to that for sure. Doug had a date last night. He called it a nice Amish date. I sort of love that he told us about it though, and we didn't have to learn about it from someone else. He will see the guy again. They didn't make out. They didn't touch wieners. It doesn't sound like, but he did say it's a Jeff Lewis Live listener, which I thought was interesting. I'm like, oh, Jeff Lewis Live listener, shout out. Oh, and did you hear Jeff attributes Countess Luann to like live your life. I might only have 10 years left to live. I'm going to live it up. I'm going to be myself and have fun. So whatever Countess Luann said on air or off air, it inspired Jeff to live his best life. Okay, here we go. Nick James, trust in preventative medicine, though it really only protects against HIV. There's nothing that stops other STIs. Barriers help, meaning condoms. Some actually ask to see proof of status, like testing, like when have you been tested last, which makes sense, right? Yeah, Britney and Jax are separating. I guess she announced on their podcast. Does separating mean two different houses? Well, shit. I mean, Mauricio and Kyle still live in the same house, but different floors, different bedrooms. Good question. Annette, how is Zach's act? Dirty or clean? It's pretty dirty, but I thought it was reasonable for sure. It definitely wasn't. What do y'all think? Was anyone else on here? I'm trying to think. There were 6 of us that came. I'm trying to think of who's all's on here today. If they were here. If you were here, answer that. What you thought. We all thought it was great. We did good. I think the first time he was on Jeff Lewis Live, he was a bit raunchy. And I think Jeff said, tone it down. It's 9 a.m. in California, so I think for sure. K-Boo says Zach does come across as a little dirty. Absolutely. I mean, I think on his own podcast, which I've listened to, he's definitely dirtier. It's all about the after hours thing. By the way, if you haven't listened to the Jeff Lewis video, the Jeff Lewis version of it, it's called After Hours with Zach Noe Towers, and it's available on all podcasts. Why do I feel like the Jeff Lewis Live the Jeff Lewis one is not on there though? I do feel like it's not on there. Oh, you think he'll say something? Wait. Tell me where, Melanie. Melanie says Zach was getting raunchy on the extended show today. Trying to remember. Where? We need it to be off the hook. Tiffany Chump, the Bravo world is off the hook right now. I hope Andy says something on Monday. I can't imagine he will. I can't imagine being a live show. I bet even any phone calls that come in, they will try to prevent taking to put him on the spot. You know what I mean? If there's ever a Bravo Marshal, it's probably sitting in on Andy Cohen Live for the next couple of days just to make sure with all the lawsuits he doesn't say something for sure. I don't think so. Denisa says, doesn't Shane hate being approached in public? I don't think he said that. I don't know. I mean, he's with Jeff, and Jeff announces a lot of times where he's at. Matter of fact, one chumpette let me know that her and another chumpette are going to John Hill tomorrow night in LA. So they will, even though Jeff didn't announce that show today, he said now multiple times, hey, we'll be at the John Hill show. We want the chumps to buy out all the seats. So I think when he announces things like that, Shane definitely knows, because I think it was on a commercial break. He started mentioning who all was going to be there, and it was a lot of the regular chumps. So quite a few of them. And now we know Oscar and his friend Andy is going to sit with them, right? Saying that he gave a BJ last night and swallowed or something. Oh yeah, I guess he did get a little. Melanie says Zach was given way too detailed of an account of encounters. I'm not prude, but it's about the taste of the coconut water. Just a bit too much detail. And I don't believe that. I've had coconut water and I've had sperm. And I don't think there's anything similar. I do not know why they were talking about that. Yes, I've met his boyfriend. He's so cute and really nice. I've met his boyfriend Brogan now probably 3 or 4 times. Yeah, because they've been together now for quite a while. So the last 4 to 5 events I was at, Brogan was there, and they were together. So cute, so nice. I don't know a controversy about Stu. Diane says, what was the latest controversy about Stu? I don't know. Anyways. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining the extended hour since there was so much gossip to get to and we had to fit in Jeff Lewis Live. I will see you tomorrow. Make sure you're following me everywhere at Sarah from Texas. Join the Facebook group, Sarah from Texas. It's such a good way to get to know each other even better. Make sure to like, make sure to comment. I would really appreciate it. Bye, Chumpets.